I still remember the day as clear as just yesterday. It was 1986. I was around 18 years old, and for the first time in my life, I got to travel alone. A train ride by myself in South India, about 4 hours away from my hometown. Now, that might not sound like a big deal today, but back then, it was huge. I was only 18 years old. I felt proud, grown up, independent. The platform was crowded and chaotic, filled with chai vendors shouting, people running around, luggage everywhere. Somewhere in that sea of noise, I noticed a man sitting on the floor selling books. Piles of paperbacks spread out on a piece of cloth. I still remember the exact book that caught my eye. Big red cover with a picture of a body and electric currents running up the spine. The title said, Kundalini for the New Age, selected writings of Gopi Krishna. I had some pocket money that my father gave me for food, but instead of snacks, I bought that book. On the train ride, I opened the first page and started reading. And that's it. I was hooked. It talked about ordinary people who had awakened a mysterious inner power called Kundalini, a force that could transform your consciousness, unlock your higher senses, and lead to enlightenment. By the time I reached my destination, I'd read half the book. And honestly, I couldn't wait for the ride back, just so I could finish the book. That was my first introduction to this mysterious energy called Kundalini. And from that day, I started chasing it. But remember, I was born in a Christian family, and anything that sounded supernatural or inner power was instantly labeled as the devil's work. So I kept my new fascination a secret. Later in life, when I went abroad to study, I began exploring spiritual groups and meditation practices. Some people I met said that they have activated their Kundalini. But honestly, many of them just looked lost. Some mentally unstable, some delusional, and some just caught up in blind faith. That's when I realized something very important. Kundalini is real, but it must awaken only when your inner system is ready for it. When your body, your mind, and your consciousness have matured enough to handle that energy. If it awakens prematurely, it can cause chaos. And I've seen it. People lose balance. Some go into extreme fear. Some experience ego explosion. And some simply crash emotionally. So, what exactly is this Kundalini energy? Let's simplify it. In Vedic science, Kundalini is described as the sleeping serpent coiled 3.5 times at the base of your spine. In the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra. But this isn't a literal snake. It's a metaphor for the dormant potential energy. In Sanskrit, this energy is called Shakti, the divine feminine force that moves everything in the universe. It's creative, it's dynamic, It's alive. To understand Kundalini, you must understand two important concepts. First, the concept of Shiva and Shakti, the masculine and feminine nature in this universe. And secondly, you need to understand the chakra system and what it represents. If Shiva represents pure consciousness, still, silent, unchanging, then Shakti represents motion, expression, and creation. And Kundalini Shakti is that Shakti within you, the creative potential lying dormant, waiting to rise and unite with Shiva, your higher consciousness. Now here is something important. This idea isn't just found in Hinduism. The Taoists called it Chi. The Japanese called it Ki. The early Christians called it Holy Spirit. And the yogic scriptures called it Kundalini Shakti. It's the same energy, the same life force. But in the Vedic system, it's mapped very precisely through the chakra system. So, let me explain that in a simple way. Root chakra, Muladhara, is your foundation, survival, stability. Your sacral chakra, Swadhisthana, is your creativity, emotions, and sexuality. Solar plexus, Manipura, your personal power, your confidence, and your drive. Heart chakra, Anahata, is your love, compassion, connection. Your throat chakra, Vishuddha, is your communication, your truth, expression. Your third eye chakra, Ajna chakra, is your intuition, vision, your inner wisdom. Crown chakra, Sahasrara, represents oneness, spiritual liberation. Now Kundalini, when it's awakened, moves upwards through these chakras. When it rises slowly, with grace and preparation, it transforms you. But if it's forced, if it blasts through unprepared chakras, it can scatter energy and cause serious imbalance in you. For example, if your Kundalini rises into the sacral chakra, you might be obsessed with emotional highs, obsessed with sexual energy and pleasure. If it stops at the solar plexus, you may become powerful and ambitious, but also dominating and narcissistic. If it reaches the heart chakra, you radiate compassion and unconditional love. At the throat chakra, your words carry power and truth. At the third eye, you develop vision and spiritual insights. At the crown chakra, you dissolve into pure consciousness, enlightenment. But here is a secret that nobody talks about. You can't force Devi. You cannot command the divine feminine energy to rise. You cannot command it. She rises when you are ready. When you have purified your body, purified your mind, and your intentions. That's why real Kundalini awakening happens naturally, not through extreme methods, not through forced breathing or chemicals or mantras shouted by fake gurus, but through grace. Now, how do you prepare for grace? By working on your chakras, one by one. When you grow in stability, you open the root. When you heal your emotions, you open the sacral. When you cultivate courage, and integrity, you open the solar plexus. When you love without condition, you open the heart. When you speak truth, you open the throat. When you seek wisdom, you open the third eye. And when all of that matures, Kundalini naturally rises to the crown. That's what I've learned after years and years of searching. And this understanding was deepened by my spiritual teachers who initiated me into ancient Vedic techniques of Kundalini awakening through grace, not force. Now, what you see in the West today, Kundalini yoga taught in fitness studios and retreats, often lacks this foundation. Many people chase experience instead of evolution. They want power, not purity. And that's where it gets dangerous. See, Kundalini is not a circus trick. It's Devi. It's life force. It's not something to be activated. It's something to be invited. So how do you begin this journey safely? Start with awareness. Start with meditation. Start with kindness. Start with living truthfully, because that's what opens your chakras. Not fancy techniques, but integrity. And when the time is right, Devi, the Kundalini Shakti, will rise you. She will move gently, gracefully, and transform you completely. Women naturally carry more of this potential because Devi expresses herself through the power to create. The womb, the cycle, the nurturing energy of women. But every human being, regardless of gender, has Kundalini within them, the potential. So don't chase it, prepare for it. Don't force it, deserve it. And when she finally rises, let her take you home to your higher self. That's the Kundalini awakening. It's not fireworks. It's remembering who you are. Namaste.